Well, hello, and good afternoon, and welcome to Sydney World Tour. Earphones on?
Hey, Teresa, we'll do the video.
I always get goosebumps when I go to a show. Lights, dancing.
It's like time stops when you get in the building. There's just so much going on and so much to take in.
The production that goes into putting on those 2 hours of live is incredibly complex. At Ticketmaster, when we're working with clients to set up these massive tours or events, having insights and data is invaluable to our client base.
Pre-Lightning, data was kind of everywhere.
We found it difficult to get to the core of issues.
We had kind of overbuilt our instance. We'd try and get aggressive and grab as much data as we can and sometimes frustrate the users.
Even looking up stuff from an agent perspective was siloed in different systems.
We had a lack of coordination of our sales team. A customer would be getting hit by 3 different people from Ticketmaster.
We had this big, tough decision. Do you kind of break it down process by process and build it back up? Or do you do a huge restart? We were ready to make the conversion from Classic to Lightning.
On the other side of it, we would have better insights and information than we've ever had before.
We did all the building, testing, training, and communications and launched sales for Lightning within 8 weeks.
The shift has been tectonic.
Now with Lightning, everything is in one place, bringing together the 360-degree view of the client. Reps are way more efficient and effective. Even though the data is the same, we're able to show it in a way that is meaningful for them, and they're able to do their jobs better.
They have incredible capability at their fingertips to get insights about how their business is running.
We now have intelligent homepages. We have dynamic dashboards. It's 1 or 2 clicks and they're getting a global view of their business.
Having the tools that we need to drive innovation in our business has been paramount to our success. Things like artificial intelligence, things like machine learning allow us to ask and answer questions much faster than we ever could have in the history of the company. And Salesforce has been at the center of that as we think about how to more effectively engage and service our clients so that they can create amazing experiences for their fans.
Well, welcome to World Tour Sydney. And if you're here, I think it's because you really want to hear about how you can also transition to Lightning. So my name's Teresa Eisens, and I'm the Vice President for Customer Success in Australia. And I'm joined on stage this afternoon by Tomas, my demo extraordinaire, but he's also one of our 25 global Lightning ambassadors globally at Salesforce, and he is definitely one of the smartest guys in the room. And also Brendan, one of my success directors from Queensland, who also has worked with clients like you're going to hear as they transition to Lightning. He's going to talk a little bit later about how you get the best value out of it. But before I start, let me say thank you. Thank you for coming this afternoon, but also thank you for all the feedback and the energy and the motivation and passion you put into Lightning. We really do appreciate it. And if you're here, it's probably because you're looking for how do you get to that nirvana or promised land called Lightning. And Brendan and Tomas and I are going to share with you today hints and tips for how you can get there. That feedback that you've given us has made a big difference. It's actually made Salesforce better. We've been able to take hundreds and hundreds of your ideas and introduce it into new features in Salesforce. And it really has made Salesforce better. We want to make the world's greatest CRM, and it's the feedback and the ideas that come from our trailblazers like yourself that do allow us to make it a better product. And it's actually working because Salesforce is better in Lightning. A 25% increase in productivity most clients are seeing with initiatives and functions like built-in intelligence and personalized workspaces and dynamic pages. These are the kind of features that you can drive more business value in your Salesforce implementations. But it's not just the product and the features, it's some of the stories that I want to share with you about other companies that have gone to Lightning. So Spark, New Zealand, 1,400% increase in sales conversion rates. How? When Lindsay saw Lightning, she went, wow, this is it. This is how I'm going to create more collaboration and effectively use information and data on our org to help with closing sales. And Air Asia, a story very near to my heart, is a frequent flyer. Their chief happiness officer wanted to use Lightning as a platform to actually help customers be more happy. And they used dashboards and reports in an easy way dynamically, where even the CEO could create reports and dashboards that shows which customers need the most assistance now. And they saw then a 35% increase in service agent productivity. And Jones Lang LaSalle, another client who probably many like you in the audience are not sure if they should go Lightning right now, but maybe they'll wait to the next release when there's more product and features. They waited, and then they transitioned to Lightning, but they still were able to see 35% improvements in application development time. So those are great stories. Those are some amazing trailblazers where they use the trailblazing and Lightning to create real business impact. And you're probably wondering, well, how do I become a success story? Well, it's a simple path, and we're going to talk about it this afternoon. It starts with building the business case, and I'm going to show you how to build a rock-solid business case for Lightning. Then we're going to talk, Brendan's going to talk about how do you roll this experience out, and then how do the fun part, how do you truly unlock the value? And it really is a simple path to activate Lightning, right? And it really starts with a business case. How many folks, and I'll show of hands, have had tech projects not go well? Typically we know because business and IT aren't typically aligned, and they're also not aligned on what the business outcome they're looking to achieve and what business value they're trying to get out of the project. So you've really got to build a business case that really starts with identifying the challenges and the goals that the organization's trying to achieve. Why is Lightning the right solution? And then how do you justify it and activate? So when you talk about building the business case, it's really about working with the business and IT, because there's both what the business is trying to achieve. IT also has their objectives. They want to simplify the platform. They want to get a master data strategy organized. They need to simplify integrations. Take all that together and add a bit of the sprinkle, which I call the wow factor of new features and functions that you may not be aware that are only available in Lightning. And you show that to the business and the organization, and they go, wow, that's it. Then that's how you identify the solution, and then you do the justification. So when you're starting about challenges and goals, look at areas like, how do you spend time? How much time do they spend on reporting and insights? If you're going to get to the nirvana of predictive intelligence, you need to make sure you're getting the right data in the org and your system, and you're encouraging salespeople to put the data in. Lightning can help with that. And how do you follow a guided sales process? You've got consistency, and you can ensure that you're seeing the conversion sell rates go up. And when you're talking about defining why Lightning is a solution, make sure you look at the big picture, right? Talk about both the business and the IT goals. Have a roadmap. Jones Lang LaSalle started with saying we're going to roll out Salesforce, and then we're going to wait to the next release to do the upgrade. But have a roadmap, have a plan. Look at easy customizations and developments. The reason you're going Lightning is because it's drag and drop. There is no heavy customization required. And then you can look at how you create more productive workspaces for your users, right? That's where you really start to see the acceleration of productivity. And justifying the investment, it's always around business value metrics. What business value are those functions in our business going to drive? How do you get alignment on that with the business? And then you do your return on investment. And there's a couple of things that I'm going to share with you that are available for you today around how you can do that. So we've got a business assessment, ROI, online calculator that you can go in, put your specific business metrics in there, how many sales reps, and it'll actually generate an ROI calculator, an ROI for you. Salesforce also engaged a third-party Forrester to actually help us and interview a lot of Salesforce clients, because sometimes you need third-party validation. A lot of clients go to Gartner and Forrester, so we actually commissioned the Forrester Total Economic Impact Study, where you can look and see how you benchmark and how other organizations have created their ROI and their business case. And then if you really need some help, we've got the Business Value Accelerator, which will help you as a free offering to our Premier clients to build that value. So, Lightning. Everything is better in Lightning, and it really can impact your entire business. So, business benefits like 21% improved win rates for sales, 29% faster reporting. How many organizations would love to be able to access the data in their systems, but actually generate insights from that data, and a 341% return on your investment. And IT can actually see a 50% quicker ability to get new function out to the business. So that's the business case part of it. Now I'm going to turn over to Brendan, who's going to talk about how do we then get it up and running.
Thank you, Teresa. So with the business value justified, your executive sponsors have endorsed the project, everyone's now looking at you to start the transition. And this is where it gets exciting. Firstly, today I'd like to talk to you about a couple of secret weapons that are in your arsenal to support that transition. And number one, hopefully this is no surprise to yourselves, is the Trailblazer community. It's all of yourselves, the people sitting next to you, the 10,000 people here at Sydney World Tour today, and all of our experts and trailblazers in the community that are able to support and help your transition to Lightning. I really do encourage you to tap into that resource. Go online onto our Trailblazer community and check out the Lightning Now group. In that Lightning Now group, we have access to our Lightning product managers. Direct access into the team that are delivering and building this capability for yourselves. Also in that group, we have ambassadors from Salesforce all across the world who are experts in transitioning from Classic to Lightning. They're there, happy and ready to be able to support you in your questions and your challenges that you might be having. So the second aspect and the second tool that I'd really like to spend some time on are the transition tools. The transition tools are going to help you at every stage of the transition process in terms of assessing what does this project look like and what sort of work needs to occur, in making the configuration changes that are necessary to be able to go from Classic features to Lightning features, and then thirdly, to optimize, measure the effect, and make sure that that user change and user adoption really sticks. One of the classics a bad word, but one of the best tools in the transition tools is the Readiness Check. Can I have a show of hands who here's run a Readiness Check report? Okay, so the Readiness Check, for those that haven't accessed it yet, it provides a 360-degree view of all of your configurations, all of your users and their habits in terms of Classic use, and what it's going to take you to transition those users and migrate some of the features and configurations to Lightning. For those of you that have run a Readiness Check report, I do encourage you to run that regularly. We update the features and we update the information that's produced in that report approximately every 1 to 2 months. So if you haven't run it for 6 months, run it again tomorrow and you're going to learn something brand new about what your Lightning transition looks like. I'd like to focus some time today talking about our configuration converter. Now, a configuration converter is a feature that's been built by our team to focus on the 2 million plus JavaScript buttons that our customers have deployed in Classic, and they're not going to be supported in Lightning. Full stop, Salesforce is relatively unapologetic about it. You do need to convert your JavaScript buttons. So the best way to talk about this capability is by a demo. So Thomas, let's take a look at a demo. So here we are. We're in the Concierge Auctions instance. And Concierge Auctions are a luxury real estate company, and they also happen to be a Salesforce customer. We're here in the configuration converter screen, and what we can see is a list of buttons that are JavaScript buttons that they're currently using in Classic. And as we look down, we can see the View Auction button. Now this button is designed from an account record to pop a new window with the given auction for that account. Concierge Auctions wants to move to Lightning, and so it's necessary that we convert this button to be accessible in Lightning. what we can see here is all of the actions that the configuration converter is going to take in order to convert that JavaScript button. And if we look further, it also displays the source code of what that button was originally trying to achieve. So let's go ahead and convert and deploy that button. So whilst this is working through, what the configuration converter is doing is looking at the code of the JavaScript button and determining the best option for a solution in Lightning. In this case, it's creating a quick action, but for some of the more complex JavaScript buttons, we'd be creating a Lightning component. But the good news is that the configuration converter does all this work for you and makes the right decision based on that button. Now, before we move on, just here in the configuration converter, I'd also like to point out some other features. It also helps you convert your actions in Classic into Lightning-related actions, and we can also take some work around Visualforce pages to make them ready in Lightning. So we're back on the account record, and let's refresh right here and see this button in action. So up in the top right-hand corner, we can see this new view auction quick action that the configuration converter's created. And when we click it, it pops out the window as expected, and we have a beautiful place here in Mossman for sale. So in some very short, quick steps, we've been able to take some legacy Classic configurations and automatically convert that to be ready for Lightning and ready for your users. Thanks, Thomas, for an amazing demo. So still staying within the transition toolkit, I'd like to focus on probably what I believe is the hardest part of any project, as Teresa pointed out, and that's achieving user change. We all know that change is hard. That's not a surprise. And within Lightning, it's going to be hard too. And this story I find very interesting. So change is hard, and it's change, and even at Salesforce, for our own users, change is hard. So we're about 90% through of transitioning to Lightning of our 34,000 users. And through that process, we really wanted to understand, why did users feel like they needed to switch back from Lightning back into Classic? And so we built a simple dialogue app. When the users were in Lightning and they decided to switch back to Classic, they had to provide into a box the reason why. Pretty simple. Why are you switching back to Classic? And that published into a public chatter group for all to see, as well as the Lightning Transition Program to understand genuinely what's irritating our users and what needs to be improved upon. The great news is that out of that innovation that we use for our own transition, we've now provided it to yourselves. It's available in the setup menu, and it's an excellent way to start to gauge the thoughts and feelings around what's frustrating your users, so that you can continually iterate on the Lightning experience and make it as best as you possibly can for your end users. So let's recap. I can't emphasize enough the power of the Trailblazer community. Get into the groups, consult with our experts. We've got the Lightning Launchpad here at Sydney World Tour today. Spend some time having consultations with those experts to address your specific challenges. The transition tools are there and available at every step of the transition process, from assessment, configuration, and user feedback. And use the power of the Lightning tools that are available to you. The App Builder is a wonderful tool that allows your admins, not developers, to create amazing, powerful pages for your end users. And finally, always remember the human element of change. This is not easy for us to accept, and understand that that's going to be a challenge, and prepare and plan for it. Okay, so we've got through the transition. All of the technical hard work is done. It's now onto the exciting part, delivering value. So I've been a customer just like yourselves, and I'm sure you get asked all the time by the end users, but what's in it for me? Well, Lightning and the opportunity to truly customize the end user experience for each persona gives you that opportunity to answer that question. What I've learned about our Trailblazers that have moved to Lightning, is that they delight in making the complex simple. What was previously a heavy Visualforce page that needed developers to build out over weeks, not days, is now available to your admins. They can build beautiful pages that deliver the exact information that their users want in a matter of days. And to bring this to life, I'd like to talk to you about a customer that's very near to my heart, Flight Centre Travel Group. Now, I'm sure you all know Flight Centre by their bright red stores, but today I'd like to talk to you about their corporate travel division. So the Flight Centre Corporate Travel Division are a COA customer of Salesforce. They've been with us for over 13 years, and they have over 1,000 Sales Cloud and Service Cloud users deployed globally. As you'd expect, over 13 years, there's a fair degree of customization and configuration that's occurred, specific to their business and specific to make them successful. And a couple of years ago, they sat down and understood that they needed to start this journey to Lightning. And it certainly felt like a monumental task, but they thought about 4 key principles that were going to help them be successful. Number one, and I strongly encourage you to all challenge yourselves and your businesses on this, is be future first. Stop building in Classic. So Flight Centre decided we are going to have no new Classic projects. Any new capability or initiative that our business expects of us, we're going to build into Lightning. As I said, 13 years of configurations and customizations are going to bring about a level of technical debt. And rather than trying to tackle this as a single project, they tackled the technical debt as they went through the Lightning transition. Thirdly, to Teresa's point, they obtained executive buy-in, sponsorship, and support early on. They were able to prove that value, which created a clear path for their transition post then. And then finally, and most exciting, see the Lightning transition as an opportunity to focus on specific personas and specific user groups and add value to each of those groups individually, rather than seeing this as a big bang approach. There was tremendous value for Flight Centre by focusing on their account managers first, who had the most pain and most opportunity to gain from transitioning from Classic to Lightning. And so they delivered that successfully. And then they pivoted and started to focus on their BDMs. So let's take a look at what Flight Centre's delivered. And all of this, I think, is really important to call out, was largely delivered by admins. There weren't developers involved. And what those admins and BAs did when they went out and spoke to the users was they asked 2 simple questions. What do you need to see in Lightning or your CRM to be successful? And what do you need to do in your CRM to be successful? Think about what Classic looks like. We've got the details and then a long, long list of related information. I know when I was a user of Classic, it was incredibly hard to find what I needed to see and what I needed to do. And so asking those 2 simple questions and the power of the Lightning App Builder provides an opportunity to genuinely transform the way your users work. We can see here a screen in Flight Centre's instance. This is a global opportunity. And just calling out a couple of simple things. The BDMs love the sales path. I hope you've all seen the sales path feature before. It's been featured for a long time now. But the simple ability to understand where their global opportunity was at and the steps that were required to progress it was an absolute winner for Flight Centre. They developed custom components that expose specific business processes right into the opportunity screen. And we can see over in the right-hand side of their screen this specific process that they have for proposals. Previously, that was accessed 2 or 3 screens further down. And then finally, don't forget the simple features of Lightning, what a modern user interface delivers to yourselves. File drag and drop was an absolute killer feature for Flight Centre, where they expected that every single file for an opportunity was saved against the record. So this is the crux of the transition journey. You know, I think we've got tremendous resources to help you build the business case, to gain that executive buy-in. Our transition tools are going to help you along that transition process and lighten the load. And unlocking the value, delighting the users, being able to answer what's in it for me is absolutely amazing and lightning. If I leave you today with nothing else, I'd like to point you to one very simple resource. Salesforce.com/lightning has access to all of these resources that Teresa, myself, and Thomas have spoken through today. It's a one-stop shop for all the resources that you're going to need to support your Lightning journey. Whilst here at World Tour today, there's a number of other sessions available to you. We have Circles of Success. We have one-on-one consultations with Lightning experts. Go and have a 15-minute conversation around your specific opportunities and challenges. Remember the tools on the App Exchange. And don't forget to join the Lightning communities. With that, I'd like to thank you for your time. I'd like to thank you for allowing us to be part of your success. And I wish you all the best on your Lightning transition.
Thank you. Thanks, Tomas. Thanks, Brendan. Yeah, and we're available for any questions if you want to talk to us over on the left-hand side. Thank you.